I never lose, either I win or I learn. Those are my only options, to whomever it may concern. About to be a hot topic, play with fire, you get burned. Ain't nobody give me nothing, whatever I got, better I earn. I never lose, but I learn. I either win or I
Thank you for
learn.
listening to the
Those are my
Strong
only
AF
options.
podcast.
This episode is brought to you by our Weight Loss Transformation Masterclass. After spending over 30 years of my life being obese and dealing with chronic constipation issues, I decided to get my certification in fitness, nutrition, and wellness to empower myself to lose over 70 pounds and keep it off.
Watching my brother and dad have a heart attack within weeks of each other, I knew I had to make a change, but I wasn't sure what to do. After researching and studying to get my certification in fitness, nutrition, and weight loss management, I was able to use this knowledge I gained to lose over 80 pounds and keep it off.
Now we're passionate about helping others to avoid the same mistakes that we made and changing the world through holistic health and wellness. So our approach is focused on mindset because overall health, including our mental health, means everything to us.
Imagine waking up with more energy than you imagined possible, no longer worrying about digestive issues and bloating.
We're here to show you how to ditch the fad diets and make small changes in your lifestyle, which will make a massive impact on your quality of life.
These are changes that you will be able to pass on for generations to come. Go to veganstrongandfit.com/masterclass today to sign up for your free masterclass and get started on a happier, healthier journey.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Strong AF podcast. I'm Ashley,
I'm Yuri.
and we're really excited tonight to bring you an amazing episode on Yuri's favorite topic. But before we get there, let's just explain the bad quality that we've had over the past couple weeks.
Our microphone is bad.
Yes, so we're so excited. Ordered a new cable for this and just got it in. The funny thing is, after I went to plug it in, realized I found the old one. So
We have to.
this is what happens when you move, but it's okay because it's all for the better. We have a backup now, like Yuri said, so we're good to go and moving on with better sound quality. So thanks for bearing with us. We really appreciate it.
We damn sure do. Because I tell you, if you've been following us through everything, you're accustomed to hearing what we're saying and everything. And these past few episodes have been terrible.
Yeah.
Just thank you for bearing with us and sticking with us and continuing to listen. And if you're new out there, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Vegan Strong and Fit and subscribe to the podcast as well. And if you would do us a favor, just leave us a review on there. Just tell us how much you love us. Give us 5 stars and just let us know you're out there, you're listening, and hopefully you get something from these episodes. You receive the message and the stories that we tell, and it's helpful for you or a loved one.
Exactly. We love hearing your feedback, guys. So it keeps, as much as we appreciate all the comments that say we keep you motivated, you guys keep us motivated as well. And you're definitely our encouragement and our strength to continue on our journey, and to continue to be able to come out and support you guys and help you as well. So we're super excited. We love hearing all of your feedback, guys. So keep it coming. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, we're going to jump right in there. Today's episode is going to be about one of my favorite topics, and pretty sure all of our listeners and followers, you're going to love listening to this one as well, because we're going to speak about generational wealth, the money, the bread, the cheddar, the guap, all of that, the bag, the generational bag, the money that is left for you, your kids, kids, and right now I'm invisible.
If you're watching on
But I'm
YouTube, we've got the background because,
I'm back.
like we've mentioned, we're in an apartment, and so we've got crazy stuff around us from all the storage. So we've got this background with our logo, and Gary keeps fading in and out. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can hear his voice, but you can't see him all the time.
Yes.
But yeah, we're going to get straight into generational wealth. This is one of our favorites because growing up, we both come from a similar financial type of background in the sense that,
I'm pretty sure just about maybe all of our listeners as well.
yeah, will relate to this. Yeah, I mean, we were never really taught about money in a sense of budgeting, understanding your inflow, your output, and saving, and just understanding really how the dollar works.
Yeah,
But
'cause for most of us, we're blue collar workers and stuff like that, and we view money as we work for money. We don't make our money work for us.
mhm,
We don't use money as a tool to obtain things. We really don't know how it works. We just go to this 9 to 5, get a paycheck, live paycheck to paycheck, and things like that.
yeah, exactly. And like I mentioned with the budgeting and things like that, I mean, honestly, those types of skills, they weren't taught to me in school until really college when I was getting my financial degree. But the thing is, that's very basic information when you really start to think about the financial world. And like you said, how to make the money work for you and to stop having to work so hard for your money.
You know, lacing up your bootstraps and going out here for a job that you hate, or working for a supervisor or a manager that doesn't care less about you, where your hard work isn't valued. And you know what happens if you don't show up, they're gonna find somebody to replace you. As simple as that.
Or even working for a company that you love and going in for a career that you are passionate about and you enjoy being there, you still want to make sure that you're doing the right thing with your money, because the thing is, like, you're working hard for that dollar regardless of if you love or if you hate your job. You don't want to just throw your money away or have someone else making money off of your money. You want to be making the most for your dollar.
Yeah, you want to scratch every dime and every cent you can out of whatever your career or 9 to 5, make ends meet, hopefully reach higher goals that you set, whether it's monetary or whatever that may be, whatever your dreams are. But for most people say they want to be rich. But I would ask you, what is being rich? What is rich to you?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a monetary figure or a dollar amount, or is that a feeling of not living paycheck to paycheck and not worrying about if I can afford this, if something happens where you lose your job, you get laid off or something, or your company goes belly up, especially with the way things are today with COVID and everything. If you get laid off for 6 months, will you be able to survive?
Mm-hmm.
If you're the only one working, let's say there's a stay-at-home mom and the dad's out here making the money for the family. If you lose your job for 6 months, will you be able to survive? Or will you lose your house, your car, or whatever? Will you have to make cutbacks just to make ends meet? What is rich?
Exactly. Or, I mean, to me, honestly, rich for me is having the flexibility to be able to spend time with my family, and make it to events and do things with my children and my husband that matter. And being able to get our 2 Frenchies, that was flexibility and freedom for me, because before it was wake up at 4:30 in the morning, go to work, spend all day there, come home, pick the kids up from school, take them to whatever sports, make dinner, and go to bed. Like, there was no time to have a dog because they would have just been cooped up in their house all day long. And that's not fair to them. So now that I'm able to work from home with a company and position that I love, and I'm able to see my family more, I'm able to make special time for them. I'm able to have my dogs, my Frenchie Biggie, he actually sleeps on my feet while I'm in most of my meetings. So, to be able just to spend time with those I love, that's freedom for me. But I mean, everything comes at a cost, right? So even though you're what you consider rich may not even be monetary, but what type of monetary setting would it take for you to reach that definition of rich, regardless of what it is? And that's what we're trying to help you with today. So Yuri has an absolute passion for this. I also have a financial background, but I'm telling you, I think Yuri is definitely the one on fire for this one.
It's just pretty much I've seen it all my life. Everybody you run into, somebody has some kind of hustle. Mine just happened to be an illegal hustle. So I picked up on that. You see that. You see the way they're moving, the way they're out here. There is no way that they're not going to make ends meet. They're going to do whatever, whether it's a life of drug selling or whatever illegal activity, scamming or doing something, they're going to make a way. And whether you pick up on the illegal side of it, you're going to pick up on the good parts, the mentality, the mindset, where nothing's going to stop you from obtaining these goals. But for people in this day and age, I recommend stay away from that side, the negative
Yuri
side.
made that mistake for you. Please don't go make his mistake.
Yeah, learn from my mistakes. But I would advise go the legal route and find some kind of a side hustle. If you have some kind of skills or whatnot, whether you're good with craftsmanship or you can fix things or you're good at detailing cars, whatever your skill or talent is, you can monetize off of it or develop some kind of side hustle, whatever that is, whether you're getting some kind of product from a company where you're like the sales rep, but you're the one getting paid off of it from pushing their product or something like that. Just develop that and start there.
Exactly. And then the other thing is make sure, and I feel like this is so elementary when you look at it in retrospect, but at the same time, this was never taught to me in school until I got my degree, which was budgeting and really just understanding that aspect and even how like your 401k and everything like that works. So just make sure that you're setting a good budget and not just budgeting your bills for the month, but budgeting how much you're going to save. One of the first things that I do when I get paid is I immediately put what I've budgeted for from that paycheck into savings because I know if I don't, it will get spent. So savings is my number one thing that I spend my money on.
Yeah, most people, you hear the word budget. It's like, I don't want to put a cap on myself. I'm a baller. I live this lifestyle and this and that. I'm accustomed to the finer things. I want these new Jordans, these new J's, these new shoes to come out, these designer labels and all this other stuff, which I'll look at it like this. Those are liabilities. They're not assets, which means as soon as you buy those things, there's no value to it.
I have to disagree with you on this. And here's why. From a income generating money type thing, you're correct, right? But from a personal, emotional standpoint, to many people, that is an asset. That is what makes them happy. And in which case I say it's all about priorities, right? And making sure you budget for priorities. Our priority is making sure that we're able to go out and enjoy ourselves and do things that we love, such as trying new vegan restaurants, things like that. So we budget for that. So this may be those Jordans may be someone's, fun money type thing. And that's okay. Just make sure you understand that you're putting that as a priority.
Well, you surprised me with that one. I was on my rampage. You cut me short, so
Sorry, babe. I'm sorry. I had to put my input there because I don't want people to feel like they can't enjoy themselves. Like this isn't starve yourself and live on scraps in order to be able to retire. This is how do you make the most of your money and learn to be happy and enjoy what you have based on what you make.
Now I got it. I remember with the assets you would think about, like for us, our fridges. Those are assets where there's a value with them, where we breed them and stuff like that. That brings in money. Or we take our male and we use him as a stud to other females and stuff. That brings in income, where that has a value to it, and stuff like that. That's what I was going for.
No, I completely agree with that. Yes, definitely. So, and that goes back to the side hustle thing, right? Because that's yours. And just being able to find something that fits you, what you enjoy doing. And heck, going back to the Jordans, if you enjoy stuff like that, like get into maybe resale or, something. There's a lot of things that I've seen now. I'm no expert because this is just stuff I see. But things I've seen where people are buying things on sale and then selling them on Amazon. I mean, there's different things like that. So, you can pretty much get a side hustle out of whatever skill set that you have. I mean, just think about how can I use my talents and my knowledge and my skills to service others.
And then one thing I would say, just if you decide to do that, pick something that you enjoy. Don't just pick something where this has the potential to make this, so I'm gonna just go after that.
Right.
Because that's not gonna last. You're eventually probably gonna get sick and tired of it, hating what you're doing, or you see something else come across that catches your eye.
Mhm.
You're gonna jump ship to that one and this one, and there's this one, I can do that. So and so did that. They made it look easy. I can do that as well. I know I'm smarter than them, or something like that.
That turns into a loss of money because every time you're starting up something, you're investing into it, right? And so if you're just continuing to jump, then you're going to end up losing more than you're making, and that's not going to be beneficial. But also understanding that as you're building these side hustles, there's amazing tax benefits that come with this. There are incredible ways that you can help your children, which is what we're really going to be diving into today with a generational wealth. And this is something that, gosh, if our parents would have known this, it's not a lack of they didn't do it because they didn't want to. It's a lack of knowledge that's just out there in general for people.
Yeah, because like we said, with generational wealth, with us seeking all this knowledge and everything, take our 9-year-old, for example. We took him out of public school where we homeschooled him, and then he came up with an idea for his own business, which is making jewelry from stones and gems that he goes to a mine.
And now clay
And resin. He actually mines for these gems, and he makes necklaces, bracelets, keychains, and everything, where he's got his own business called YJ's Bling Bling.
Mm-hmm.
You can find it on Facebook. He's going to appreciate me for that.
He's got some, I don't know if you can see these if you're on YouTube. He has these amazing trays that he has made. Absolutely beautiful. I mean, he does so many different things, and he's just really exploring his talents. But really what we're teaching him with this is, number one, being able to find something you love and generate income from that. Number two, he is responsible, obviously with our help, for maintaining all of his books and his record keeping for anything that he's purchasing, all of his sales that he's making, everything that he's doing, he's having to keep track of that. That's his math skills. That's his record keeping skills. He is also customer service when he's making sales.
He's the one out there speaking to the customers.
Yes.
As they're walking by his table at the farmer's market, he's saying, "Hey, I'm YJ, and this is my jewelry."
Mm-hmm.
And they're so surprised. They stop like, "You really made this by yourself? This is you, Dad. You didn't help him." I'm like,
right, exactly.
I'm just here being the parent.
We're just a chauffeur. I mean, and like when he wanted to sell at our chiropractor's office, he had to ask for permission and he had to set up his time because that is his thing. So, I mean, obviously there are certain things like when he's doing resin, he's messing with chemicals. So we have to make sure he's being safe. So he's not doing these things alone, but he is doing this stuff on
Under our
his
supervision.
own under our supervision. So, I mean, it's those types of things. Like, we want to make sure that he understands really the value, and not just of, I feel like I don't want to get into the value of hard work and time spent and all this stuff, because really what we're trying to teach him is how to do his passion and make the most for his time instead of making a lot by putting in a lot of hours. That's something that nobody wants to do. It allows us more flexibility by being able to create this passive income, whether it's through your own business, whether it's through investing in stocks and bonds and mutual funds, cryptos, and then or whole life insurance, and being able to gain cash value that way. Like, whatever types of investments that you are making, and you're not having to work for those, you're making investments and then it's working for you. Those are the types of things that we want to teach our children, and we honestly are already working to set up for them now, so that when they're ready to be on their own, they don't have to worry about the massive debt that we got into when we got married.
If you think about it, that aspect of going to college, taking out student loans and stuff, where before they even get started on their career, they already have this massive amount of debt that they ensued. We're trying to prepare them for life. That way they're already ahead of most kids, where they may know what career path they want to already pursue. That way, if they decide that college, a degree, a master's degree is what they need, is going to benefit them in their career, that they can pursue that, but they've got an advantage because they've been studying for that throughout middle school, high school, which is at home with us, where they can focus on, I want to be a doctor. I want to be this certain kind of doctor. I want to be in the medical field. So for like 4 years, they've been studying that medical field. So by the time they start getting in college and stuff, some of that may be familiar because they've already researched it. They might not have that hands-on experience, but they have some of the educational knowledge down pat because they've mentally prepared for it.
Exactly. So, for example, YJ is really into gaming. And obviously things may change, but I'm telling you, this kid's passion is incredible. So he wants to be a game designer or a software engineer that would develop different computer games, video games, different things like that. So he has already started really diving into coding classes and developing his own games and everything. So he created like this game with a knight where he has to catch the diamonds.
Because like before, I thought about it. I had no clue what coding is and stuff like that. And then he started showing me just the excitement on, look at this, you do this. And I'm like, look at that. You did all that. Like, what is all this stuff on the side? What is all this? And he's like, yeah, this is how you do this. This makes it go up and down and this and that. I'm like, wow. And you learned that just in an hour today? He's like, yeah. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's amazing to see the excitement on his face, like you said, but that also gives us an idea of exactly how we need to focus his studies. So based on that, I mean, coding is a lot of logic, if-then statements, understanding process, understanding really the ideation behind how to get from A to Z. And that's what he's working on creating. And that tells me there that he needs to think through different types of really math problems that are more word problems, those that aren't just, your normal written out math problems. They are the actual thought-provoking word problems, the comprehension in your reading, those types of things that really make you think through problem solving. And that comes not just through his core studies, but different types of games and interactive things that he can do. I mean, think about it. If you've ever been to one of those escape rooms, you have to think, okay, if this happens, then this would be there, and then I'm going to find it over here. It's that same logic that you have to implement
In life,
in life. Yeah.
because you look at it this way, it's like we're preparing him with all this life experience and everything. That way, where kids his age, they're playing checkers, and he's 9 years old, and figuratively, he's playing chess. He's learning how to move everything strategically, thinking ahead and thinking, what is the customer thinking? What are they going to want and stuff like that. We're preparing him for things that we wish people would have prepared us for, that may have taken us 20, 30, 40, 50 years, where he's learning it at the young age of 9.
Exactly. And then even better for our younger two who are 4 and 2 and who see their big brother going through all of this. And I mean, obviously they're still at their fundamentals, but they're learning too, because I mean, the things that Cam does, and when we take him to the farmer's market with Wache, the salesman that comes out of him is absolutely amazing too. Like they're picking up on so much.
It's so funny, 'cause I'll sit there and be like, okay, YJ, are you going to talk to somebody? And then Cam's like, hey, my brother, this is my brother's jury, this and that. I make this jury, and just joking around, and they're stopping, they're having a conversation with him. Then they're starting to look at his products and everything, and all of a sudden he just made $20 from somebody because his 4-year-old brother had the courage enough to carry a conversation with somebody. Those customer skills, those speaking skills, being able to relate to people and just talk to him and stuff. And all these are little teaching moments that I have with him. I'm like, hey, did you notice that lady? She had on earrings or whatever. She bought a necklace or something like that. You could have mentioned to her, oh, by the way, I have these earrings that will go lovely with that, or something like that, teaching them about upselling. And he's like, oh, okay, I never thought about that. And then,
But not just upselling. I mean, that goes back to the logic, right? Because you're teaching them to be more observant to everything around and really logic things out and understand why. And that's another thing. Like, we encourage our children to ask why. Now, granted, sometimes it gets on their nerves because they ask it so much, but we do encourage our children to ask why, because I don't ever want our children to be yes men and just do it because somebody tells them to do it. Like, I want them to understand why they're doing something, how it's going to affect them, how it's going to affect others before they make a decision. And if they feel, now not in a rude way, but if they feel or they disagree with maybe the direction that they've been told to do things, they are welcome to say, okay, I know you told me to do this, but is it okay if I do this instead? Now, that's something that even in our parenting, we encourage. So if we say, go to bed, and they're like, okay, but is it okay if I finish this first? Then that gives them the opportunity to ask, without being rude, but also voicing their opinion and letting us know, hey, I will, but I feel like I should be finishing this up before I go to bed.
yeah, because I know what some of you started thinking when they said they're able to ask you why. Because I know I'm growing up, if I would ask my mama why, famous words, because I said so, stuff like that. Nowadays, you want the kid to feel free to have a conversation with mom and dad and stuff like that. As long as they're not doing it rudely, we value a conversation, because when they get older, if you just shut them down all the time, they're not going to come to you to have a question, whether it's about something you really don't like talking about, which we're going to have a sex talk class on. Ask mom.
He keeps asking. We got to figure out how to do this.
Let me ask again so we have a little more time. But just having these conversations with your kids where you feel relatable, where they feel comfortable coming to mom and dad, having a conversation.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
If they don't get the answer from you, they're going to get it from somebody.
Yeah. And you want to make, yes.
I like that answer that they give.
Most definitely. And so I know that we've kind of gotten off on the way that we're teaching our children, and you may think, how does this relate to generational wealth? You're not talking about money. This is crazy. You're not even talking about what the episode is about, but it truly is, because understanding that teaching your children that mindset, that is what is going to help create generational wealth. Because by doing that and by teaching them the value of money, by teaching them how to, budget and save and invest at an early age, that is what is going to create generational wealth. Because let's say that YJ somehow becomes a millionaire off of his childhood business. It's not going to happen, but let's just say this does, right? But he turns, maybe not even before he turns 18, just throughout the time, he's like, okay, I want to buy these Pokemon cards. Okay, I want to buy this basketball goal. Okay, I'm going to buy this. Well, guess what? YJ made $1 million. YJ's broke because he spent $1 million. So that just teaching him how to create a business does nothing. We have to teach him how to understand that money, how to invest that money, how to take care of that money. And that is what's going to create that generational wealth, is that mindset that's behind it.
Yeah, because that's one thing you got me thinking, talking about that, where you see somebody, they work for this great company where they're making six figures, they drive these fancy cars, stuff like that, they live in this amazing home, and you get this person who works in a factory where they're making like maybe $40,000 a year, and you see them, and on the outside it looks like that person making the six figures is rich or has the better life, where in actuality they're making that money, but they're spending out, let's say, $90,000 over the year. So they're only living off of $10,000. They're only living off that, where you got the person that's making $40,000, where they're only living off of $10,000, and they're saving $30,000 a year. They're not out here living flashy or anything. They may shop at Goodwill, have decent clothes. They don't buy all these designer labels. That doesn't pique their interest. They're just working hard. They're saving money. They're investing in stuff like that. Maybe they have whole life insurance. That's a whole nother thing. We can dive deep in that maybe some other time. But yeah, it's never judge the person just because of
their career.
Because you don't know what they're doing with their money.
Exactly.
Because it's their money. It's not your business.
Exactly. Most definitely, guys. So we really appreciate everyone tuning in tonight. Like I said, there's so many different avenues that we could go down, but I feel like the mindset was what we really needed to focus on tonight. And if you guys like this, leave us a review. Let us know. We can always continue the series and continue to talk more in depth about these things, and just continue to bring you guys more information on generational wealth and how to, not only change your financial aspect, but also for your entire family.
Yeah, if you want to learn how to make your money work for you, just leave us a review. Just ask us, and we'll be gladly to let you know, whether it's you send us an email or you follow us on Instagram at the Strong AF Podcast, or you follow us on our Facebook group, the Strong AF Podcast, or wherever you may find us on Spotify,
on our website at Big and Strong and Fit.
Wherever you run into us, just leave us a review, hopefully on Apple Podcasts. Just let us know you really enjoyed the episode and you want to hear more about whole life insurance, you want to hear about cryptocurrency, you want to hear about the mindset, you have any questions about Freakies or whatever.
Keep it in mind, we're not experts on these financial things that we're talking about. This is just our perspective and what has worked for us and what we have heard from other experts that has worked for them, and we just want to share our knowledge. Please do not take our information as expert advice.
Yeah, just whether they say your network determines your net worth. So we've created these networks with people that we know that are a lot smarter than us. That's the best way to get ahead in life. Find somebody who is smarter than you, whether it's you're more book smart, they're more street smart, they know this, you know that, and share these tools with each other, and you can learn a lot, or you never know, y'all may become business partners and grow this amazing empire that y'all can run.
One thing that I've always told myself throughout my entire career is if I'm the smartest person in the room, we have a problem.
Exactly.
So continue to grow, guys, and stay strong AF. Have a great evening.